baby, how's it flowing? Welcome to a place that never sleeps, where you can serenade the relax to let you find the one. You know you're about to have a real good time. Dance on the beat, oh yes, that's it. That's it, my baby girl.
Listen, I for one am a fan of the Jamie Foxx show. Especially around third season when they changed from the burgundy uniforms to the blue uniforms. They take the carpet out of the foyer area and they do like
you really watched the show.
No, I think the thing is, so if y'all don't know, Jamie Foxx show is actually on HBO Max. Mm-hmm. I just went ahead and skipped to when they did the renovations because I think that's when the show is top tier.
I still haven't watched it on HBO Max.
On it. I need to finish it because I'm on the part where Nicole just got the job at Jingles 2000.
Oh, okay. Jamie Foxx is one of those shows where, like, if it's on and I'm in the mood to watch it, I'll watch it, but I won't, like, seek it out.
Again, I'm a fan of the later episodes. I'm fine with the first, second, and I think it's like half a third maybe. I think it's funny, don't get me wrong, but they was like in a bag when they got Silas, when Braxton P. Hartnebrig was dating the white girl. What was her name? Cameron, when he was dating Cameron, who he's actually married to in real life. Who knew that? Right. They was like fully in a bag, and I'm telling you, it's literally, you could tell the budget went up because that's when they redid everything, and it was just like, that's when they was in their bag. That was Christy, y'all. Jamie Foxx show be having me weak.
Yes. Well, the Jamie Foxx show is our throwback. It ran for 5 seasons on the WB from 96 to 2001. Jamie Foxx plays Jamie King, an aspiring musician from Texas who goes to LA to pursue an entertainment career, and he works at his family's hotel, King's Tower. Garrett Morris plays Uncle Junior, who's kind of cheap, but he's always looking to cut costs. Elia English plays Aunt Helen, and she's like a second mother to him, to Jamie. Garcelle Beauvoir plays Francesca Fancy Monroe.
Legend.
Yes. Beauty. A goddess.
Haitian legend.
Yes. And she's the beautiful and intelligent front desk clerk at the hotel who Jamie crushes on.
Immediately.
Yes. And so she finally gives him a chance during I think it's the 4th season.
I think they really got together with the 4th season.
Yeah. And they end the series with their wedding.
Boo, will you marry the kid? We'll have a bunch of boo-boo. Oh, Jamie Foxx. Asking for the breast milk, but I get first dibs. Jamie, why you sung that?
You stupid. Christopher B. Duncan plays Braxton P. Hartnebrig. And, he's like bougie, reserved, like kind of stuffy. He's the accountant at King's Tower. And he and Jamie start off as nemesis, but by the end of the show, they're best friends.
And still they're best friends, but they still sell each other out. Girl, Jamie Foxx show be having me in tears.
They were roommates at one point in time, too.
That's what they did in the Michael Jackson episode. Oh,
yeah. And Andy Berman played Dennis, the bellboy, during season 1.
I don't even remember that because it's been so long since I've actually watched season 1, which I think I'm going to go back because immediately when it got on HBO Max, I was like, I want that episode when he comes back after Jodeci and he realized fancy.
I will never say never again.
So I literally started halfway through the show because I'm like, I want Silas, I want Cameron, I wanted to watch the Dear Lovely episode, I wanted to watch the Change Your Heart episode, I wanted to watch the Plain Bright Rice, see how it boils, oh, so funny.
Yes.
Oh my God, Jamie be so dumb.
You can watch watched Jamie way more than I have. Because,
Girl.
like, I remember that, like I said, I'll watch the show if it's on. I'm like, okay, I'm in the mood. But then I actually may watch it on HBO Max versus MTV because, you know, MTV be cutting shows down.
Girl, they be cutting shows down to all 12 minutes.
Yeah, so I might have to watch it on HBO Max because I actually started watching Martin on HBO. I started watching season 3 because I wanted to see the episode when Gina's friend from college comes back to visit. And then from there I was like, well, let me watch the X-Files episode.
Which one's that one?
Zion Nicole, I love you, Mom. And whenever you touch, I want to touch that. Hey. So then I was like, well, why don't I just start watching season 3?
No, that's how it was when Jamie Foxx got on HBO Max. So I'm like, let me watch that episode with Nicole. If I'm not at home, I was like, yes, leave a message for me. It's like,
I'm trying to leave with you
so we can go home tonight. Sipping on some Hennessy. Oh my God, this is so stupid. And I'm so tuned in and I'm on this floor rolling. I'm like, and y'all gotta stop that debate with Jamie Foxx and Martin. Them are 2 different shows.
And there's not even a debate. Like,
Man, it's just y'all. Let me tell y'all something about Martin. I personally, like, one of my favorite shows in the 90s is actually the Steve Harvey Show because I think that was such a funny cast through and through with everybody. But at the end of the day, when I get ready to quote a Steve Harvey quote from that show, it is very rare people know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. I can quote a couple of things from Jamie Foxx. I might could sing a couple of songs that the show might have had, and y'all will get it. But overall, you can't just sit here and go line with a lot of these shows, including The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, The Wayans Bros, My Wife and My Kids. One show that everybody knows, whatever you're saying, they know probably damn near the season and episode is The Martin Show.
Chilling with Simon in the Sky Box.
That ain't no damn puppy. Like, y'all really, I know y'all like to be super woke now, and y'all like to say Martin was so misogynistic and he was a bully, and y'all like to throw colorism into the situation. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to quote, there is a game for Martin where you literally can pull and ask questions, and I can assure you that shit gets that work at parties. Like, let's not.
Yeah.
Do that. But Jamie Foxx by far.
It was all right. You know what I'm saying? It was
Hilarious.
on a smaller network, you know.
Jamie was super talented. He was able to like get his music out. He was able to be funny. You know, that show did really well. That show lasts 5 seasons.
Because y'all don't remember that first Jamie Foxx album with Is It Just My Family?
Bed Springs. Y'all don't remember Bed Springs. And you know he wrote T-Shirt and Panties.
T-shirt and my panties on. How you like
Yeah, like the Jamie Foxx show really did what needed it to be done, and I think it made Jamie a better actor because the first season or 2 up until like the last season, you could just tell the growth and everything he was doing. So shout out to I thoroughly enjoyed the Jamie Foxx show. Oh, and when they add Sherry Shepherd, that's another thing. So they had Silas was Fancy's like boyfriend turned fiance. His mom was Jennifer Lewis. Silas. Sherry. They started introducing some of Fancy's friends, but the one friend that stuck was Sherry Shepherd. If I'm not mistaken, her name was actually Sherry on the show. She was funny as hell. And then even that season when they did Jingles 2000, they introduced Mouse. I can't think of his real name.
What's the one that looked like the one who was in he was in Don't Be a Menace to Society while drinking your juice.
He was the one, my white Nubian queen.
Oh yeah, that's Kevin. He's a writer.
He's a writer, but they introduced him. He started writing for Jamie. What is his name? Because he needs to get a shout out.
Yeah, he wrote for a lot of
No,
them.
he writes for every single body. What is this? I see his face too.
Spencer. Something. Spencer.
Yep, it sure is.
Yeah. But nah, the other guy, he was in Don't Be a Menace to South Central Roger Juice in the Hood. The one
Chris Spencer.
Chris Spencer, yeah.
Shout out to Chris Spencer. Chris Spencer Spencer pops up in a lot of your favorite comedian TV shows and movies. He pops up because he's actually the person writing a lot of your favorite comedians material. So that when Jamie got the job at Jingles 2000, that's one thing I did enjoy because they added more people to their cast. So you were able to see Jamie have homeboys, and then they added some fancy friends, and it wasn't overwhelming either. It wasn't like, it all made sense, and everybody was just really funny.
Yeah. So what are your favorite episodes?
The Change Your Heart episode with Kenya Moore. Shout out to Kenya Moore, because if y'all let her tell it, she was an Emmy Award-winning actress in the 90s with her cameos.
She's your favorite actress?
This is actress.
Favorite actress.
Let me see. Oh God, it's so hard because I do be cackling. It's the behind the music episode when Jamie was stealing the jingles from Mouse. When Jamie and Fancy broke up and he dated Golden Brooks and her name was Nancy. And she kind of looked like Fancy, and it was just a mess. The Dear Lovely episode with him and Fancy was selling products, and then like he went up there with like an 8 picture, was like, this is my high school prom picture, and Dear Lovely saved me. I cackled down that night. Oh, and when they do the auction for the painting, and they gotta solve like who stole the painting, hilarious. Is that it? Yeah. Oh, when he got his apartment and Fancy had that big ass picture. Fancy. That was a good one. And him and Nicole sparring, where like him and Nicole, I think it might have been like 5 or 6 episodes with him and Nicole. That was a good time too.
My favorite episodes would be, I think it's like the first or second season with the white chick from In Living Color. Yeah, when she dances, she can't dance and she tries to the hotel. I like the episode when Monica Calhoun played his little sister.
Came up, and he was trying to be fast.
He was trying to take that girl to Disney World.
Girl, I want to go out. We in LA, Jamie.
I ain't come here for this. The Change Your Heart episode.
Change Your Heart episode is funny.
I like the episode that Method Man and Redman.
That's like a Nicole episode.
Yeah,
because he was like trying to put they want to holler at Nicole, so he Jimmy was shit.
I feel so bad for her. They was like on her.
No, for real. Nicole couldn't breathe.
I like the episode when he have all the like football legends on there,
and then he fall out because and shout out to that because that's around Any Given Sunday time. So that was a cute little promo.
Yeah, he had Lawrence Taylor, Fred Williamson. Like I just always remember him because I never seen the movie, but like he was on one of those. It was like Quentin Tarantino, like the. From Dusk Till Dawn.
I never watched about it.
Yeah, and I think he's like a vampire in the movie, but like the vampire face always stuck with me when I see him. And I like watched his Unsung, and he was a very handsome man, but like he liked white girls. Like it was, yeah, he was just like white women, like white is right. And it's just like really,
it'd be so weird. When they do that,
yeah,
it's just be like, what you got going on in your head? I understand preferences or whatever.
Yeah. And this is the 70s too. It was really like I'm a football player. The pinnacle of my success is white.
And the sad part is they really kind of still think that, but they be getting now they get white women who kind of delve into blackness, and that bothers me because I like this is the one thing about me is I like my white women white. So I like Jennifer Aniston. I like Perez Hilton. Like one thing I appreciate about Perez
Hilton is kind of racist.
No, but I can appreciate. She doesn't say no. She's racist and homophobic. But I can appreciate Paris because Paris stayed right in her whiteness. She didn't try to do nothing to kind of be like, let me get my butt done. Yeah. She's with her blonde hair, and she's exactly what white girls do. They party all their 20s, get married, put some pearls on, and act like that shit never happened. I can appreciate that. Jennifer Aniston's another white woman. I like when white women be white women. It's so weird to me now to see like football players still having like this fetish for white women, but then it's like the white women that like dabble in like blackness that weirds me out a little bit.
Girl, I don't know. Fred was in there. And Lawrence Taylor.
Didn't he throw some girl over the balcony?
Like Lawrence Taylor.
And I don't like Lawrence Taylor because he sits like above the black community as if he just lived this great life, as if he never did nothing. And I remember,
for real?
but something happened. That's how I found out he threw that girl off the balcony.
I do remember he threw the girl off the balcony.
I forgot what he was scolding somebody. And somebody was like, I know you not talking. You tossed that girl off a fucking balcony. We know. And then that's when I delved into his era of football. And it was just like, oh, you are a menace.
Yeah, Lawrence Taylor's just somebody. It's like, I don't really know his background, but when I see him, it's like,
Yeah, I forgot what was going on.
Him, and I'm just like,
I forgot what was going on, but whatever happened, I know it dealt with like something that was happening with black people, but he had like all these opinions, and then that's when it came out, and it was like, this from a nigga who threw that white girl off the balcony.
I'm not laughing at him throwing that girl off the balcony.
And then I was like, wait, what?
It's the audacity of it all.
No, and that's really how they handle him. And then I was like, wait, what? And then it was like, he was a menace in the 70s.
Yeah, it's something about him that just always, he paralyzed somebody.
In football?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's when they was playing gritty football too.
Yeah. So, but
yeah,
I did.
Because he was the one on Any Given Sunday who waited to the last. Like he damn near he wanted that last touchdown or that last something, and then they had to escort his ass off on a stretcher.
Yeah.
Shout out to Any Given Sunday. It was an era where I used to watch Any Given Sunday like every weekend for no reason. I love Willie Beeman. I love Leela Rashawn. I love everything about Any Given Sunday. It is so long for no reason.
It is a long ass movie.
You're gonna watch Any Given Sunday for a smooth 4 hours.
It's gonna take up your Sunday.
It's
real football.
Yeah, I used
football Sunday.
It was an era where I used to go to sleep to Any Given. Like it stayed in my DVD player.
Why?
I don't know. I do that sometimes. Where it'd be like one movie, I'm fixated on it, and I would watch it every night.
Na, 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 na,
They gonna be alright on any given Sunday. When I lose, it is up to you. Is it really though, Jamie? And two, shout out to Any Given Sunday because it's actually hilarious to me that he's third string, and when they actually tell him to get in the game, he eats some Fritos at the end of it. And I don't know why that takes me out every time. Because he really was at the side of the bench, like with a Gatorade and some Fritos, just shooting this shit. They're like, we need you.
And the fact that like LL Cool J was like really in character.
No, and that's extra funny because I don't know if y'all ever listened to the Foxx. So if you have not, please.
Or even his comedy special. What? I Might Need Security. Was that when he went through like the whole story of it? So
watch his old stand-ups, and then if you ever have time, you need something to do, listen to Foxhole, because I'm surprised they haven't took Foxhole off the internet yet, because I'm pretty sure once woke people get a hold of Foxhole,
they're gonna be trying to cancel.
They're gonna cancel Jamie Foxx.
Actually, did we maybe
we
might need to take that out. Y'all might not hear this
because Foxhole is some of the funniest shit, because Jamie always in predicaments that he don't have to be in. It's just like, well, how did you end up like that?
And Jamie is a great storyteller, like hilarious. Honestly, for me, Jamie Foxx is one of the funniest people, like comedian, storytelling. Like
he's such a well-rounded comedian. Like he can play Wanda.
His stand-up is funny.
Yeah, he's a well-rounded comedian.
Yeah.
But that, I'm telling you, because that Any Given Sunday stories had me weak, because LL Cool J was out freaking havoc on the people's set. It was just like, that's a movie, right?
Right. LL was trying to have them run plays and stuff. He was stacking niggas for real and getting mad, like.
Because Jamie said, like, what the fuck? Because Jamie be looking like Los Angeles and stuff. Like, wait, what? He was so pissed at LL Cool J. He was like, this a movie, they gonna cut it. Like, they gonna cut the angles. We ain't gotta do all this. This a movie. Where are body doubles at? Why am I like, ow?
Right, like you're not supposed to touch me, bruh.
Yeah, you're supposed to like run and then they cut. And then like the people who play us make the contact properly. Why we
a weirdo.
He was not. That was
He's
so
a
weird.
weirdo for that.
That was real weird.
Doing it just for that.
He say he a method actress. Method actor. Y'all got-
Yes, he is,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah, you know what? And I believe him because when them people broke into LL Cool J house, the fact that he dog walked them people lets me know he is he's a method actor. Y'all got LL Cool J fucked up out here. Shout out Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
And then Jamie Foxx show, that was top tier. WB and UPN really.
We always shout y'all out.
I don't think there's probably ever gonna be an era like that again.
No,
it's
not.
Where they literally tried out every black show at that point, got pitched and got the okay. Nah.
Even if you lasted for a couple of episodes,
Listen.
they still gave you a chance.
You was gonna last 4 episodes, but they was gonna let you record it.
Right. Your pilot got off.
Oh, they said no to nothing.
Right.
Like, whenever y'all have a chance, Google UPN 90s black shows, and there's like a list of shows, and you just be like, wait, what?
This person was in the show? This person had
It was just a show. I totally went over my head. It was with Steve Urkel and Gabrielle Union.
We talked about that the last time.
Yeah, I was like, what? And I barely remember that show with Holly Robinson Pete and
For
Reagan
Your
Gomez.
Love?
No, I remember For Your Love.
Oh,
they
when
had
were,
like
the ad agency.
Yeah, that was on UPN.
They had I thought that was a WB.
WB was For Your Love.
Oh, okay, because they had about they got 2 or 3 seasons.
One show I did like that I was mad got canceled was second time around, a second chance around with Boris Kojo and Nicole Avery Parker.
Yeah.
Shout out y'all. UPN, WB, y'all was a good time. Jamie Foxx, I Cackled Down.
Yeah.
I suggest y'all. I started when they, later in the season, but I do want to go back and start from the beginning. So I may do that this week. And whoever hears this, who got some connections, whenever y'all get the Steve Harvey show on HBO Max or Netflix, I'm going to be there on time.
Please.
But yes.
So yeah, girl. So the AMAs was last night.
Oh, that's what I thought it was King Richard next. Okay, skip the game, sis.
Oh, my bad.
Girl, this is confused.
This is gonna be quick because the only performances I watched was Chloe in New Edition. So shout out to Chloe for toning it down a little bit. I think that she's a great performer. She has a stage presence, but she just be doing a little bit too much. But she reined it in.
She's finding herself.
Yeah,
that's all I'll say. But she's finding herself within the space.
Yeah.
But I definitely would like to see what's
I'm
in store for her.
Yeah, me too. And then the show, The Battle of Boston, New Edition, and New Kids on the Block.
I cannot name not a single person in New Edition. I mean, and
Jordan McKnight. Remember, baby, you know that I did.
Oh, okay.
And Donnie Wahlberg.
Oh,
Mark Wahlberg's older brother.
Yeah, okay.
I wonder if he was as racist as Mark.
If Mark that racist, he was definitely racist.
I don't know, because
Boston's racist though.
It is. It really is.
So yeah, I think even if he wasn't as racist as Mark, he was racist because I heard Boston's like hella racist.
Yeah, I did too. I heard it. It's it's a mess.
Yeah. But shout out to New Edition. Y'all, they look good.
They do.
Bobby Brown, I was a little worried.
We were worried.
I was worried. Oh, speaking of worried, I'm going to circle back to Verzuz. But I was very... Bobby ain't the same Bobby. And I give Bobby a lot of leeway because a lot has happened to Bobby. Mm-hmm. And, Bobby's not in fighting shape and fighting weight. And you can tell Bobby don't be down to the gym. And that's okay too. We can tell that he be like cooking with his because he has a season in line. I can tell he be down there barbecuing. And when I watch... And when I watch Being Bobby Brown, it was obvious that they eat. That is one thing I enjoyed about Being Bobby Brown. They was gonna go out to eat about 5 times an episode. Literally.
Well, I don't think he living that same life with Alicia.
No, but he barbecued a lot. Even then, remember they was just in the woods barbecuing for no reason. Like they ate. The Browns eat. Okay?
He and Bobby Brown.
Oh Oh my God! When it was in the woods and Whitney said, "I want you to bend me over on that tree." Oh God! Oh, me and Bobby Brown was so good, so good.
But no, he looks good last
did.
night. I mean, the choreography wasn't as precise like everybody else, but he looked
But
good.
he stayed on key.
Yeah,
that was the thing.
He
was sharp.
hitting it all like that.
Yeah.
He wouldn't hit it like this.
Yeah, he was
He was
sharp.
Yeah,
but he stood up. He stood.
He can walk off stage.
Because I've seen about 3 different performances with New Edition where Bobby Brown politely exits stage right in the middle of it.
Right.
And I don't think he was supposed to.
I think that's why they put him all the way at the end.
No, there's a reason for that.
Because it's like, if you need to go take a breath.
And I think they'd be like, if you need to take it on this song. Like, I think
Right.
we just need you to get through,
Bobby, we slowed down the choreography. We slowed down the business and love. Like, really?
They look good though. Everybody looked good.
Yeah, they
The
did.
jackets was fly. The hats was
the
fly.
whole attire. Except Bobby did look a little different from everybody else. He was dressed a little different, but it's like, okay, Bobby. Not that he was dressed different, but he wasn't following the same color scheme as everybody else.
Yeah, that's because that's fucking Bobby Brown.
That's Bobby. So, but I was watching like their reunion performance on MTV from like 1990, and I don't know if we've given Bobby his props on this show, or I know me and you have talked about it offline, but like Bobby Brown is the blueprint for a lot of these, like Chris Brown and them. They say Michael Jackson,
Justin Timberlake.
Yeah,
people love it, but you know what? I realized that about Madonna and Janet Jackson. White pop girls be like, "Oh, it's Madonna," and it's just like, but when you hit an 8 count like that and you do a dance break like that,
Madonna wasn't hitting 8 counts.
You're definitely Britney Spears has said that often. It's like, no, if you're breaking an 8 down in the middle for no reason after you did 108 counts already, that is straight out the book of Janet Jackson.
Yeah.
But they do, and especially the guys, they love to say Michael Jackson.
No, but Bobby Brown, because
is their blueprint.
Yeah, Bobby Brown at one point in time was that guy.
Yeah.
And even like
it's the reason why Bobby Brown got Madonna, Janet Jackson, and married Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
It's the reason.
Yeah. But like even just seeing them all perform back then, and like back then, Bobby is the first one to put the leg down now on If It Isn't Love. Back then, Bobby was at the end with Ronnie, and he was killing it with Ronnie. And so it's just like to see New Edition from the 80s up until now, and they'll have some drama.
To know that a lot of them had like addictions and had to like New Edition's been bankrupt and just
they're still like, I don't even think they still have their financial orders in
personal feuds.
Yeah.
They as like a group and as individuals have been through a lot. So to see them and they still look good and they still can hit their 8 count.
And the fact that they was probably beefing the day before, but was like
the fact that they fought in the limo on the way there, because I think them the ones that pulled guns on each other at one point, like them niggas cut up.
Yeah, but they'll go on stage.
They'll be a professional.
If it isn't love, why do I hurt? Yeah. And Marseille Mama was in there getting
her life.
She was getting it. Her and what's his name from Boyz II Men, the tall one? Shine, yeah. He was getting his life. The little BTS pop. What's some Korean?
I still don't get it. It's like 80 of them. Every time I see interviews of them, they don't really speak English.
I was just kind of irritated that last night when I was trying to see what was going on with the AMAs and I searched the hashtag AMAs, it was like all these videos of them.
Oh, because them, like, what are they called? What's
the Korean pop?
What I don't know. They're
K-pop.
Okay, so the K-pop people doing like when they were having all the Black Lives Matter protests. And police stations were like, if you see anybody doing anything, record it and, basically give us tips. Because what they were trying to do was arrest a lot of the Black Lives Matter members. But one thing about K-pop said say less. They spam them people and call them people to the point where people start taking down their phone numbers. That's why I appreciate K-pop. K-pop really was on the police ass. It was like, where the tips need to go? Or this email address? Bet. And they just ate their ass up.
I wasn't appreciating it last night when I was trying to find.
Yeah, them people for K-pop don't play. Them kids, And I don't understand the BTS craze, but again, I'm a woman of a certain age now. I don't really get it.
I don't understand it either. Like,
because like I said, I've seen interviews of them, but some of them I really don't think can speak English at all.
But then, like, it's even like, I think I've seen a clip of their music video or something like that, and I'm just like, but we've seen this. Like,
and that's what somebody.
It's like 90s or early 2000s R&B that they're doing.
And that's what somebody said when they were watching. They were like, look at K-pop watching. New Edition. It's a rap.
They couldn't catch that beat, child. I was looking.
They was
trying if it is, and like
they're gonna try so hard when that next album come out. When that album sounds very familiar,
right?
It's definitely they were hella inspired by New Edition,
right? Because I'm like, I don't understand their hype when we literally already seen this. Like,
girl, you know people get hyped off weird shit because everything circle right back.
Girl,
and sometimes the circle back and y'all don't even be doing it well enough for the circle back.
Right.
But that's no shade.
Girl. But yeah, shout out to New Edition. Shout out to New Kids on the Block. Shout out to Chloe. Tyler the Creator performed. Shout out to him. Cardi. Even though y'all gave Doja Cat awards in the R&B category.
And this is the thing. I know it sounds very terrible, but I need people like Doja Cat and The Weeknd to stop accepting R&B awards. I just need them to straight up do it. Like, I need y'all to get to a point where y'all just be like, nah, I don't want it because I'm not doing R&B music and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and I think I also kind of like whack, and I don't know if this is their reasoning, but for me, it's like, if you put you in that category with other pure R&B artists, knowing that you're more popular than them and stuff, to me, it's like an easy award for you.
I think it's a way where they can give their pop awards to white artists, but then also acknowledge the black people that do pop music.
Yeah.
Versus just giving it, because Jasmine Sullivan should be getting all the R&B awards at every award show, like period, Grammys included.
And granted, I don't like Givian's voice, but The Weeknd should not have won R&B.
I think The Weeknd, don't quote me, maybe a couple of years ago, did an interview saying basically like he feels, I don't want to say he feels a type of way, but he understands that it is pretty much off that he keeps winning R&B awards versus getting pop awards. Mm-hmm. But like I said, that's the way for them to give it to their white artists and then to give it to the I don't want to say semi-black artists because they're black, but you know,
the acceptable, yeah. Because then, like, I didn't even like when Justin Bieber was trying to say something. I made an R&B album, and it's just like, no.
He said he used R&B drums, and we're like, all the drums are this.
Yeah.
There's no R&B drum, bitch. There's just a drum.
Right. And then it's like, so you want to come to these categories of black people, and then essentially you're going to be taking their awards. Like, it's
you're definitely taking black people awards. So I think, because Adele, I just seen an interview where Adele walked out on an interview with somebody because they hadn't even listened to the album yet. And somebody quoted, they was like, Nicki Minaj is a lot of things, but it was like, I totally agree with Onika when she did this stuff with the Breakfast Club.
Because the Breakfast Club used to be so disrespectful. People would go in there and they'd be like, so I didn't listen to your record.
So why you made it? So like, I kind of want like this artist revolt, especially from people like Doja Cat and The Weeknd, where when they start winning these R&B awards, they show up to accept them and then just be like, I know I just won this award, but I'm giving it to who I think had the best R&B album. Come get your award, sis or bro or whatever, and start doing it that way, because I feel like that's the only way these white award shows are gonna do what needs to be done, because
it's like, make a separate category
and they already fucked R&B over anyway when they merged it with hip hop. Like the Billboard records are R&B and hip hop. So if you ever look, that's why it's always Drake and it's like Young Thug with Chris Brown, because what happened was the emergence of that Ja Rule-ish type of music that happened. But it's like, no, at the end of the day,
they're separate categories.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if the song is majority somebody rapping, put that in hip hop.
Yeah. Because
y'all virtually wiped out all these people who can sing down.
Yeah.
And that's sad. And somebody said they think like R&B got a new, was rejuvenated, they said, with Tamar's Love and War. Because it's like, she really came out singing like old R&B on that album. Then like, people aren't really doing that no more.
Yeah.
So yeah, they kind of fuck because y'all don't merge pop and rock.
Right. And also, I wish they would stop disrespecting like real gospel artists by giving Kanye.
Oh yeah, when they give
like,
Kanye awards, I be sick to my stomach.
Yeah, best gospel album of the year, and it's just like really, like there's some real like gospel artists
that do very well.
Yeah,
and I think too that pisses me off because people be on Twitter all the time acting like R&B artists are home starving. It's like, no, them R&B artists be selling out their tours.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get that shit twisted.
Mm-hmm.
They're not at like...
They're not doing like full-blown arena.
But they're still...
Stadium.
But they still at a nice concert hall and they still making coins and they still selling out. I seen Toni Braxton about 3-4 years ago. Sold out show. All her shows are sold out.
Tiana Taylor.
All her shit be out. Yeah, I just seen some videos. So y'all... It's the way y'all do R&B is just terrible, and I think that was by design because R&B was beating y'all ass in the 90s.
And I just also think it's whack because by y'all doing this, like first off, the state of music is already different now, and it just also goes into how like these artists are being brought up. They're not being brought up in the church. They're not being brought up with like talent shows. They're not even being brought up with music programs. So where they can learn music in school and stuff.
The girls who sing down started in the church.
Yeah. And so then it's like you're by then merging these categories, and so these people are like now just they're doing stuff because they want to get acknowledgement, they want to win awards and all this other stuff. So it's like they're not even like with R&B, and then even just like how a lot of mainstream R&B is now, where it should just be so depressing.
Girl, because it's a vibe. What do you mean?
It's a vibe. Real, like a vibe instead of just like singing.
Because it's a vibe.
Yeah, and all the songs be like, I'm texting this nigga, he not calling me back.
It's
I know he with that bitch.
It's because it's a vibe.
And it's like, I don't know, it's...
But don't let that R&B music is still really out there.
You just have to.
You're gonna have to look for it.
Yeah,
that's really the basis.
I appreciate Insecure because I feel like they put me up on a lot of like indie.
And if you on Spotify, like Apple Music, what I do, I have I follow because they updated a lot. It's called like new R&B. So then, and granted, they'll throw some Drake in, like when Drake released his album. But overall, it gives you very much so indie artists and different people just to listen to. Because the R&B music is out there. R&B is not dead. Don't let people tell you that. It's really not.
You just gotta look for it.
And in terms of R&B and people performing, shout out to Verzuz.
When I think of police, I think of police. Love overflowing.
Prayers out to Chaka Khan.
Is that Stephanie Mills?
That's Stephanie Mills.
Oh, okay.
But shout out prayers to Chaka Khan.
We need to keep Chaka lifted up in prayer. Child.
We really do. I mean, that's not even me joking.
No,
I'm so serious.
like dead ass.
Yeah, no, I'm so serious.
Like it's very sad that like she's been dealing with these same demons since like the 70s.
Yeah.
She looked good.
They both look good.
Yeah.
I love both their hair color. They both were snatched. When Chaka still can hold a note. I'm not talking about her singing by any means. It's just at this point, it makes me kind of feel sad because Chaka's gonna be one of the people that when she passes away, we're gonna ask what was in her system, and I don't want that for her. You know what I mean?
And that's also the thing. Like Chaka can still sing.
Oh, Chaka can. And Chaka does it effortlessly. It's just like I can sing it right quick.
But it was just real that versus I love you anyway. And we cannot stay. It's just like Chaka.
And I do appreciate Stephanie Mills letting it be clear when y'all talk about Chaka, y'all talk about her. She held it down for her, and I enjoyed that. But like I said, she looked good. I know Chaka still got the pipes.
She does.
I wanted Chaka to give me what I wanted Chaka to show up, and she didn't show up the way I would have preferred. I didn't watch the verses because I get secondhand embarrassment really bad, and I don't like really seeing people like that. Even though Stephanie Mills didn't seem bothered, Stephanie Mills was like, whatever.
Stephanie was putting on a show.
Yeah, Stephanie was like, I'm working for my check.
Yeah,
y'all gonna stream my music tonight.
Right. Like I told you, I took my mom to see. It was me, my mom, and my sister a few Mother's Days ago, a few years ago for Mother's Day. It was her, Elder Barge, what's Gerald Levert's? The OJs.
The OJs.
Confunction. and I think it may have been somebody else. And Stephanie Mills wasn't even the headliner. Stephanie Mills was like an act or two. She may have been like right before the OJs. Stephanie had her own intro where it was like, Stephanie Mills, Broadway performer, award winning. Like, Stephanie had a full introduction for like 5 minutes before she actually came out to the stage. And it was just like, oh, okay, Stephanie.
Let them know, Steph.
If ain't nobody else gonna give you your flowers,
You take them.
right. So, you know, Stephanie, she took full advantage of that moment. And it was just kind of sad because I'm more familiar with Chaka's catalog.
And so that's why I wanted it so bad.
Yeah.
Too. And I genuinely, my mom's favorite song is Sweet Thing. Mm-hmm. And again, I am more familiar with Chaka's catalog. So I wanted to see Chaka in like top tier form.
Yeah, I want to see her.
I just want her like top tier form. Like I said, I didn't watch it because it's just like I can get secondhand embarrassment from it, so I be cutting stuff off. I can't sit through certain stuff.
I tuned in for probably like 5 or 10 minutes, and I was just like, I can't watch Chaka.
But she looked good.
Yeah,
she looked good though.
Yeah.
So shout out to Chaka. So King Richard is here in these streets.
Yeah.
You watched it today.
I did.
Did you enjoy it?
I did enjoy it. You know, I didn't know how I felt about Will Smith being Richard. Mm-hmm. And not because I don't think that Will Smith can't act or anything. I was just kind of like, I'm like, Don Cheadle probably could have played this role. But then I also understand the whole Will Smith has charisma and you want the person to bring, you know, the audience or whatnot. But I think as a whole, the cast did very well. She was in her pause. I think they did very well. And I didn't really, you know, growing up, I knew of Venus and Serena, 2 girls from Compton. You know, they had beads in their hair. They was killing the tennis world. But, like, I've never really, like, followed them like that. Mm-hmm. So just learning their story, you know, I was just like, okay. Because especially, I didn't know that their mother was also a
tennis instructor.
Yeah. And that she was also instrumental, you know, with them. I just always knew it as their daddy, you know. But I think it's just a great story. And then especially, like, I really enjoyed how Richard... It's something about, like, seeing parents protect their children, and especially in that type of environment, and he knew what they were going to have to deal with, you know, as far as like with racism and all that stuff. And I just love that he was checking people without caring, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, it was a good story. I enjoyed it. I'll probably watch it.
I'm gonna watch it again. I think it's hilarious that y'all need to learn how to use Google and start watching interviews, because there's some publications headed by white people, of course, that was like, how dare they do a movie about Venus and Serena and give like all the like praise to their father. And people was like, you know, they did that. You know, Venus and Serena did this movie that way. And I'm just like, at the end of the day, so they was talking about like how people like always try to erase black fathers. And it's just like, I mean, at the end of the day, that goes for Matthew Knowles, that goes for Joe Jackson. People, because I remember when Joe Jackson died,
Bette Midler
was like, thank God, Aunt Janet Jackson, that's so great. And it's just like, that girl's still mourning her daddy.
Yeah. And she's close to her daddy. Yeah, like, she's a daddy.
Regardless of what happened.
Yeah.
Her daddy stayed on her payroll. Even when she fired her daddy, her daddy was literally on her payroll.
Right.
For years and years. She took care of her daddy.
Right.
That's her daddy.
Right.
She went to the hospital when her daddy was her daddy.
Right.
Like,
it's like the media always puts out these publications, and you know, as we're getting older and the environment that we're in, and also with us having access to the internet and stuff like that, they always are able to put out these narratives of like, and even with Brandy Mama, where it's like, oh, the parent is just so difficult. Oh, they're so, and it's like, no. They have their child's best interest at heart. Like,
versus, let's be clear, versus white artists who really be letting their kids have free-for-alls, like for real.
Right.
And not saying everything Joe Jackson and Sonya Norwood and Richard Williams and Matthew Knowles did was right.
Yeah.
I'm saying mistakes were made, but also don't discredit people when they'll tell you quickly, why they are where they are.
Yeah.
Like the Jacksons ain't never missed their word. Like, well, Joe was tough, but we signed with Motown, and the next year we was the Black Beatles.
Yeah, Sonya made sure that Brandy had money.
Yeah, and as they should. Like Jason Weaver's mother, when they try to just cut him a check for Lion King, and they either said we'll pay you out now, or you can take not stock in it. Like basically, he gonna get a check every time something happened with Lion King, and his mama chose that, and it's just like exactly. Y'all let these parents parent the way they feel is necessary. Y'all don't be coming down on them white kids, and them white kids was snorting coke with Drew Barrymore and
partying with her mama
in Studio 54 at 8.
Right.
So it's like, so like that kind of pissed me off, especially because if you watch the interview, they did a wonderful Red Table Talk interview with their mom and two of their sisters. One passed away in the early 2000s, but they did like a beautiful like interview, and it's like. I thought it was just very profound that Will said about Venus and Serena's about Richard was when he checked that reporter who kept saying she confident and kept like
basically trying to make her second guess.
Yeah, when he came and checked that man, and you see Venus kind of smirk.
She looked like he got it.
Yeah, and I thought it was just very nice because Will said what he appreciated about Richard, because he was like, his dad was a lion too. He was like, and I think parents of a certain era had to be lions because they still coming off a very dark time. Yeah, they're coming off a very dark time for Black people, like very dark. I mean, we still ain't in the brightest of light, but very dark. So he was saying that he believes that parents had to be wolf-like and had to be tiger-like and had to kind of be fierce, and people thought they were assholes, but it's like they really fighting for the safety of their children and trying to make sure their families stay together and the kids don't get fucked over. He said the thing that he admired the most about Richard was you can look at Venus and you knew that was her lion. That lion wasn't gonna flip on her. That was her lion. And Will said that's what he realized about his dad. He was like, my dad was a lion too, but sometimes he'll bite me. He was like, I took that with me with my kids now, that I can be a lion for my kids, but I'm not gonna bite my kids. And he said you could just tell how confident you were. Like you knew it wasn't about you. You were just like, all right, my daddy here.
I also got out of that movie too because Will has talked about, like, with Richard wanted it for his daughters, but he made sure that he never wanted it more than they wanted it themselves. And so I felt like, and I mean, I know Will's kids are grown, but he's talked about how he was like pushing them where they're like, this isn't fun anymore.
Willow, straight up.
Yeah. So I think it's something that parents, like, watching that movie, that they could take away from it, because you don't really think about it, but then as I was watching it and how they were talking about how those kids were getting burnt out and stuff like that, and just seeing like how those parents were reacting to their daughters getting beat by Venus and stuff like that, and it was just like, it becomes a thing where your child enjoys doing something they wanted, but then especially when your parents see how good you are at something, it's like they start taking over. And then
because it's like you want them to go into their greatness, but then it gets weird. I mean, that happens, I think, to a lot of people. I think that's kind of what happened to like I think that happens with a lot of kid celebrities. It's like, but y'all so good. Like, why don't you want to be on tour every day? But you're so good. You're so, ain't nobody better than you. And you're like, but I'm tired. But you're so good. But look at everything we got.
Aren't you got fans? They love you.
But we're so good. So I get how you can easily kind of,
you start crossing over to that.
Because you're so good. Them kids can't do what you're doing.
Right.
And it's sad because it's like, I always said I feel so bad for uberly talented people because it has to be such a burden to actually just be really good. But then it's this other side to you wanting to show your gift. Like, I just want to show my gift. Like,
and it's one thing when you're getting pressure from outside forces, but it's another thing when it's like your own parents.
Like, you can't come home and chill.
You.
Like, you just can't come home and play Nintendo and have mindless fun because now the ball's starting to roll and people want more from you. And it's like, you acquired all this money and you live in this nice house, but you don't have 5 seconds to be a kid, and now you're sitting in board meetings and stuff like that. And I felt Willow. Willow was like, oh, this is my hair is fine. Okay, I'm ready to go home now. I'm ready to just lay in my bed and watch TV.
Yeah,
and
this is
I don't want to do it. I'm tired. I did the US. Now I'm in London. She was on that Justin Bieber tour, and so luckily for the Smith kids, it wasn't a need to get out of poverty.
Yeah.
I think with some families, and this is just based on how life was going at the time, it becomes a need to get my family out of this hood, because if I don't, they're going to die. So then that adds another level of pressure, because it's like, you got to get this family out the ghetto.
It's all on me. And it's like, I don't know anything else but this.
Yeah.
Like, this has just been my main. I've been working, essentially.
Since I've been 7.
Yeah.
Because they even think that Venus really went up against somebody. I guess because I wasn't thinking at the time, but it's like, you're a 14-year-old going against the number 1 person and had that bitch shook.
Yeah, so the one scene when she had left out for a little bit, like, and they said she was trying to ice Venus out or something?
No, they saying she was being iced. So she said she had to use the restroom, but they saying she went back into the locker room and they were icing her muscles in her body.
Oh, okay.
And then that kind of threw Venus off, because now you taking her down her nerve. Like, you taking Venus from being up here from playing, now you drop down. And that's why if you heard the dad said don't sit down while he was watching her on the TV, because you know your adrenaline be rushing, you relax. Versus you just way up here. And she had that girl shook, and I'm happy Vincent was beating them white girls' ass the way they was. I'm sorry.
And it didn't really show like the racism that they face personally. So I wonder, did they purposely not show it, or if it didn't happen? Like,
I think they purposely didn't show it though.
Okay.
Because I say that too, because they wanted a feel good movie, and overall it turned out to be like a feel good movie, because definitely they dealt with racism.
Yeah, and it's like overall, whatever you say, I'm still
gonna beat your ass.
Yeah.
And they hated that. I mean, they dealt with racism, because look at the articles about Serena and them over the years. They were very nasty to them. Specifically Serena. Like, when Serena came in, which, watching a movie, Serena being so successful and actually probably the best tennis player, makes sense, because she was the underdog. And so I'll end up watching her. Serena and Venus did an interview with Oprah like in the early 2000s. I think Serena might have been like 18 or 19 at the time, and she was actually number 1. I think Venus was number 2. And I realized that her being kind of Venus's understudy made her a monster, because it's like, now she's chasing Venus, who's the best. So you're getting trained essentially by the best y'all life. And she said that Venus used to beat her so bad. She's like, no, she's like, I had to get good. Venus used to beat me so bad. And everybody laughed. She's like, no, I'm not, like, I don't think y'all get it. Like,
but see, I didn't realize that, because I just always remembered Venus and Serena, and these two sisters from Compton who can play their asses off. I didn't realize that. I think at one point in time I knew that it was Venus first and then Serena, but it just seemed like it came more natural to Venus.
And that's one thing. I think that's why Serena got so gritty.
Yeah.
I think that's why she got so. And then 2, watching the movie, you realize Venus kind of went to the country club before Serena.
Yeah.
So I think a bit of still having to practice on like the raggedy court in the middle of Compton.
But her mama trained her.
Yeah,
too.
her mama trained her too. But you still in like this element of gritty, like you're still fighting to get out.
Yeah.
Like, and I told people, I was like, sometimes disappointment do that to you. I was like, Venus, if you chasing Venus. And Venus is that good, because she really, on that Oprah interview, and she was laughing. She was like, but I want to be like her so bad. She was like they used to make me order my food first, because if Venus ordered whatever, I copy Venus. She's like, so they made me order my food. Venus will order her food, and then I'll change my food to whatever Venus got.
Well, I do. In the movie, you see Venus is saying something, and Serena.
Well, double that, yeah.
And he was like, Serena, stop repeating Venus.
And so I'm like, that's what made her so like gritty. It was just like this need not to get out of Venus's shadow, but to be as good as Venus. And I was like, so now it makes sense why. And even the way she plays is kind of gritty, because even when I watched that Oprah, I was watching the Red Table Talk, she was like, Venus is always so composed. She was like, I play Venus. And Venus is just like, oh, okay. All right. Yeah, and she was like, I'm like, She's like, I'm like fighting for my life. And I'm like, that's what made you number one. That animalistic, I need to. I said, that's what did it. That's why you was beating everybody ass the way you was. They couldn't stand Serena. Serena Venus was kicking their ass.
Effortlessly.
And that's what they daddy said. I want them to, when they see your name, I want them to be sick. I want them to look at it and be like, oh, fuck, I ain't gonna win this. I want them to feel like that. I want them scared. I'm like, y'all had them shook for a very long time too.
Yep.
Yeah, I think they won the Olympics 3 times. So that means that's 12 years.
Serena won like the Grand Slam like 20 something times, 23, 25
Girl, I think
times.
between the two of them, girl, I looked it up earlier, like between the two of them.
It was like some years of Venus and Serena was like just
1 and 2,
straight.
1 and 2, 1
It was
and
just
2,
like,
1 and 2.
why even come?
1 and 2.
Why even?
1 and 2. Like they played each other at the end. 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2.
Yes.
And then let them go with doubles. Beat your ass in doubles.
Taking y'all out.
Girl.
So, no, it's a good movie. And I
enjoyed Jada Pinkett having an executive producer credit.
Yeah.
I seen my sis Jada Pinkett Smith. The
Smith's
gonna clear a check.
Because was it through Willowbrook is in where Overton's in? Which one?
I think they got both. Overton for sure, but I think they got Willowbrook too.
Okay, then what's the difference?
One is an overall production company.
Okay.
And one is more geared to movies, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I saw that. I was like, okay. And one of the sisters, Isha, she got an executive producer.
Well, she was on set. Yeah. You didn't watch Red Table Talk.
I didn't watch Red Table Talk, but HBO Max, you know, they have little clips.
Oh, I did see that.
So, yeah.
Because the family basically told her to like go out there and oversee the movie every day. So that's how she got executive producing credit. And it was funny because I guess like back in the day when they used to like practice tennis, she'll find ways to get out of going to the court because she's like, it was raining. Like, well, I want to be out there. It's raining. So he was like, well, if it makes anybody feel better, she never missed a day on set. And she's like, say that out loud again, let me know. And so that's how she ended up with the executive producer credit. And what was super funny too was Venus and Serena wanted executive producer credits, but they wanted to see how the movie turned out first. And so Will was like, I think it's very funny that y'all waited to see how the movie panned out.
How you should do this.
Because they said it was waiting on everything. How Will did it, the kids, they was waiting to see how the movie looked. Because she was like, you have a really good story. She said you give it to Hollywood and it don't convey whatever you're trying to convey.
Well, I was kind of surprised to see that the kids didn't spend time with them like that.
The kids what?
The girls that portrayed them really didn't spend time with them like that. Because I think on the one clip when Venus and Serena had came, they were like, Venus and Serena are coming. Oh my gosh. And they were crying. Like, I think
they acted like that all the time. Because I've seen a bunch of pictures with them, with Venus and Serena. I think they might have just be standing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of pictures in different clothes.
Well, even when Serena came through the door, Ingenue was like, oh, hey.
Yeah, but I seen them on set though. Oh. Yeah, I just feel like they might have been just standing. Because I know the main one who was there every day was the one sister. But I've seen multiple pictures and photo shoots of them in different clothes, so I think they might have just been standing.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
I
think they was coming unannounced as well.
Okay, they did well with the cast.
Yeah, they did. The little Serena was perfect.
Yes,
top tier.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's a feel good movie. Will Smith did his thing. Yeah, I liked it. I liked what it conveyed. I liked the story. It kind of made me want more because it ends right when they at the cusp, like right when they kind of like, oh, okay, we doing this. So I kind of wanted to see like, I want to see y'all beating their ass for the next 10 years. Like,
I want to see beats.
Yeah, I want y'all to beat their ass. I need to see y'all whooping ass. I need to see some mixed doubles. I need to see y'all at the Olympics. It kind of made me want to like, damn.
Right.
And I did end up watching like, I went to YouTube and watched like old tennis matches, and they was, child.
Shout out to Williams.
Y'all couldn't.
And King Richard.
Y'all couldn't hold the candle to them girls. Yeah.
Right.
Damn.
Y'all tried, but couldn't.
So, Tiger King is back.
Girl, these crazy people. Crazy.
So, I don't know if y'all watched Well, you probably did watch the first season of Tiger King. I was
Right.
a little leery about the second season because I knew it was more of a money grab.
Yeah.
And so I didn't think they had more to tell.
But then they introduced Tim Sparks.
They had more to tell. Carol Baskin still killed her husband.
She did.
He's also a piece of shit.
Yeah, he
And a pedo.
Yeah, very much so.
And yeah, he's disgusting.
Ugh.
Tony Stark or Tim Stark?
Tim.
Tim Stark, what is there to say about Tim? Tim was down to that courthouse cussing them the fuck out.
Just running through, cussing everybody out. The judge, the bailiffs, the lawyers, the security, the jurors.
No, when they came up to his property to get them animals, and he pulled up in front of them reporters, and I can't remember the lady's name, but
Shay.
Okay, it was like a reporter, Shay, that always was like following his stories. She said she did like a few dozen stories, and not all bad, but did a few dozen stories about Tim Stark and his zoo. He didn't see her when he was talking to the reporters, and he straight up says, "Where's that fat ass bitch Shay?" And she dead ass says, "I'm right here."
She did. I'm girl.
Listen, y'all, when I said I needed an oxygen tank because I was in my house driving. Because he said that shit was just so much. What's that fat ass cunt or bitch?
Your
Whatever.
fat face. Your
And
face.
she really was like, she put her little hands up, and I'm like,
I'm here, Tim. Come to the front. Like,
Tim cussed some people out at that courthouse so bad, and then finally,
it had the nerve to try and call the judge and cuss the judge out.
nah, the way he called, because listen, if y'all listen to Recovering Party Girls, you know I had situations. I didn't even know you could contact the judge. Like, that is how much I did not want to talk to the judge. Like, I didn't even know you could just call the judge office and be like, "What's up, judge?" And I was just like, white people are different.
They are.
That is all I got from them. Like, white people are a different breed of people.
They
Like, if you
are.
called the damn judge's chamber, I didn't even know that was like actually possible.
Girl.
And then the fact that he like didn't even have the decency to take that truck with the other animals far away.
Right.
Like, he just took it up the street.
Dummy.
He just get everybody listen. And Jeff Lowe and his girlfriend, mark my words.
Oh yeah, they
In a couple of years, when there's
Some
sexual
predators.
assault charges and I've been drugged charges on them. Okay.
Yeah,
Because they on some weird shit.
Yeah, they are. They very much are. So, and it's a shame that he's allowed to walk around when the fact that he stole money from a domestic violence charity, like, really?
Everybody on Tiger King needs to be in jail.
They do.
Everybody's weird.
And the fact that y'all went to Trump's to that January 6th
With that rap
event,
Tiger King private jet.
and the fact that the Republicans the Republicans who was the trashiest of the trashiest was telling y'all to get out of there because
Y'all listen, if y'all have time, just watch it. Like, I can't even explain to you how I thought it wasn't gonna be that serious, and it really was.
the median.
Oh, they had a meeting. So John, right?
I guess it's
Carol Baskin, the husband Carol Baskin apparently killed. The daughters cannot stand Carol Baskin,
Right.
as you would think, because they also think Carol Baskin killed their daddy.
killed him.
So oh, that was a good time. So at this point they're trying to find anybody that can possibly get them answers. So they found a median, and apparently the median seen chicken,
I've been seeing chicken all day.
and then there's a empty carton, empty chicken
Container.
empty chicken container. I can't even watch that dumb shit. And then it's just the way, like, the daughter, like, rubbing him on the curb while he sobs. I really got confused. Like, I had to watch that scene like 4 times because I didn't really know what was going on. Like, I went to the bathroom on the first time and I was just like, so what is happening? And then I think one time I looked down at my phone. I'm like, okay, so why is he on the curb crying like this? And why am I looking at a chicken container?
The same thing happened to me. I called Ebony. I was like, so is that her husband or something?
It was
Like,
not.
I don't understand. understand, child. They should have just called Miss Cleo, because Lord.
Rest in peace.
Right. They should have called me.
They could have called Dionne Warwick.
Right.
Latoya Jackson. They been on the
Right.
second hotline too.
Right. But y'all watch the second season entire.
It's really, if you have nothing to do like Friday after Thanksgiving, it really will give you something to do, because some white people are basket cases.
Right. And let me give y'all a tip, police. Like, y'all need to really find out where they're getting their animals from.
No, that
Because
is true.
They're like poor as hell.
No.
Getting these exotic animals.
And the thing is, they took like hundreds of animals. That guy, first of all, that guy, Tim Stark, he killed 149 animals off rip by accident. And then they seized like another 100.
Right.
So how y'all even feeding animals like that?
Right. Right.
It's something very much.
I'm not even an animal rights activist, but I'm with PETA. I stand with you, PETA. As I ate my shrimp earlier.
I can't stand with people. They cuss me out for like a year.
Because you be antagonizing them.
I don't be antagonizing nobody. And Perez Hilton, you bitch. Now that I'm on it, okay, so real quick. I was minding my business and I seen, Britney Spears is free now, and I seen Perez Hilton in her comments saying, "You are strong." And then I had just watched the Brittany Murphy documentary where he had all these opinions about Brittany Murphy. Girl, the mom and her husband was fucking. I don't care what nobody say. So I go to Twitter. I don't at Perez Hilton. I just put Perez Hilton. Something of another. Basically, I was saying Perez Hilton need to be ashamed of himself, because he was the reason a lot of them pop girls was going through in the early 2000s. I did not at him. Okay. Now I go to work. I'm out of my business. I open up the app like an hour and a half later. Who responded to me? Perez Hilton, saying he does not need my permission to grow, evolve, and become a better person. Bitch, I didn't ask you to get permission from me. I'm just saying you a piece of shit. And if you want to evolve and grow, that's totally fine. But if I was a person that you antagonized in the early 2000s, that would be very triggering for you to say I'm strong when you really spent like a decade trying to break me. So fuck you, Perez Hilton.
Right.
Bastard.
Right.
And then somebody, whatever. Fuck you. And them white girls are better than me, because the way I be right under your comments, can you please get the fuck off my page?
Right. I don't need this from you.
Yeah, I don't need your encouragement. Your encouragement does nothing for me. But anyway, so Queen Sugar had a series finale, thank God. It's been announced that this season, next season is their last season. I got my wish. I think it's time. And did you watch it?
Yeah, so sad, considering that Queen Sugar used to be your show, like, for a minute. It was.
I did rather enjoy Queen Sugar. I think everything I said stands true. I'm not against the LGBTQIA by any means. I would have preferred Micah's story would be him being an ally. I think I said this before on the last episode we did, or an episode or two ago. Because I think the whole I'm coming out is overdone.
I was kind of confused with his storyline, because it didn't seem, it was like he was saying like, I had feelings for you, but then at the same time it didn't seem like it was going to be a romantic relationship.
I feel like it is though, because he kind of came out to Nova as well.
Yeah.
So, but I just kind of think that type of space is played. I would have liked to see Micah and that boy be like homeboys. Yeah. Micah kind of vet his boyfriends, and then you just get this story about somebody just being friends with a gay person. Because I feel like we don't get that story a lot. We get like I'm about to turn you out, or I didn't know I had feelings for the same sex, which is totally fine. I just think that storyline is kind of overdone, and I would have totally liked him to kind of them be friends, and then the Borderlones just accept him as the best friend who has like he show up to Thanksgiving with his boy, he show up with Micah, but he bring his boyfriend, and everybody just like, oh, okay, yeah, this is my boyfriend, and we see it where it's not this big conversation either, where it's just the norm, because it is the norm in all over the world. So I just rather it just been like, oh, this is my homeboy, oh, this is boyfriend, and everybody just say, okay, grab your plate, baby, and we go on, versus the announcement.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we get the announcement a lot on a lot of shows. It's like, I can see trans people because they're kind of having their moment, but I am gay.
But we also didn't need it with Micah when Nova's already like sexually fluid anyway.
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
you know.
So yeah, I just would have preferred it that way, where it wasn't like this big deal, and they tried to not make it a big deal, but then they tried to like subdue it where it wasn't like this big thing. But it's like I would have just kind of prefer him like, oh, this is my homeboy, oh, this is boyfriend, and nobody like loses their shit. Everybody just, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's Micah friend's friend.
Yeah, like that. Like everybody just going about their day like, okay.
Yeah.
And nobody says, it's not this big conversation, I guess is what I would have preferred. Yeah. I'm happy Darla didn't pass away during...
well, as of right now.
Yeah, because you know, they'll... Queen Sugar kill somebody quick. Or no, they'll give you a sad storyline quick.
Well, I'm glad that Charlie, they finally given her the storyline where she's like, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of carrying everyone's burden. Like, I need to do something for me. So I am looking forward to next season, and hopefully they will write her to where she can finally be happy.
Yeah, because I just rather her and Davis work on their relationship and get back together. Like, I don't want no drama out of her and Davis. It's like the show started with drama with her and Davis. I just, I want to see Ralph Angel and Darla go through being parents, because essentially they weren't parents to Blue. Yeah. So I want to see them go through the entire thing where it's not no drama for her. Yeah. Especially because Violet was very nice to say, hey, you can come stay with me. Or Charles like, you can have my house. I think she chose to stay at Vi's house, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, they don't have to give it up though, because they're not going to sell the land to...
But I think what wasn't that scene... Didn't she still say she wanted to stay at Vi's? Anyway, I just want to see them raise their kid and go through normal... If they're not having a good day, it's just normal. I had to wake up with the baby. Yeah. Versus how they kind of write.
We're gonna have to go back to jail.
Yeah, I just want it to be normal, like, and I want to see progression. No shade to the borderline house, and they own a lot of land. But I would like to see them build. They have all that land. I would like to see them build a better house. Because that bothers me about that land too. It's just like, so let me get this straight. Y'all got all this land and y'all can do anything on, and y'all living essentially kind of like
a shack.
Yeah, for lack of better words. So I want to see like progression. I want to see a nice house for them, because Darla had a nice house before she got back with Ralph Angel. That was the other half of all that too. So it's just, I want to see them go through normal relationship stuff, and I don't want it to be, I want to see maybe she did with postpartum, but I don't want it to be so extreme where it's like, because Queen Sugar has a way of going to the depths.
And it being like, Darla is in pain, but she can't take any medication because she's a recovering drug addict.
Yeah, so I don't want all that. I want it to touch bases on stuff, but not like drown us in it.
And I want to see that guy collect all the evidence that he needs to put Nova away.
For life.
For life. If the family if she don't get to the toad or whatnot, because the family, what she did to the family, she need to be a punishment.
But that's why I found the baby shower so funny, because if you listen to Darla's speech,
I rewinded it because I was like, what's she gonna say about
it? Darla was very, thank you for what you do for the community and teaching us about Black Lives Matter, is essentially what Darla said. And everybody else got like a moment, like
she got to Hollywood.
Oh, girl, when she said his name twice, girl, I cried.
Because she was like, they don't know. But
how I feel about you.
You came and got me.
On my darkest hour.
You came and got
that baby was like, I was naked in the whorehouse with that baby. Come on, Hollywood.
You came and got both of us.
Girl, you saved me. Yeah. So that's why I laughed at the way she even... She hates Nova. I don't care.
She gave Nova too much, because I just feel like...
No, she did. She gave Nova exactly what she do for the community. Thank you for showing us how to take care of your community and to sign people up to volunteer. Anyways, Charlie,
you
inspire me.
Yeah.
You raised Blue and we couldn't. That girl got a Nova, was like, thank you for your services in the community. She hates her. And I don't blame her.
As she should.
And then too, she invited that narc to whatever. Anyways, Queen Sugar.
I wanted to do something different with you because I just didn't want to. I didn't want
The
to.
fact that Nova can stay with a nigga, not even a nigga, the fact that Nova stay with a love interest always throws me off. But
who be doting over her
right,
trifling ass.
she ain't shit. Anyways, what are we here for? The show really is back because Insecure is back. So what are we 2 episodes?
No. You skipping it.
What's
Because you talked about Britney. I thought you was gonna segue into the whole New York Times documentary about documentary episode.
That was after Insecure. Okay, that's fine.
I thought
It was Insecure, Janet Von Dutch.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry, y'all. We all over the place.
No,
today.
Christy's all over the place. Don't put that on Ebony.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
What she want to do?
It don't matter.
Okay, we could do Insecure.
Okay, good, because I wrote the time already. Go ahead.
Okay, so we have 2 episodes. Just a quick recap. Season 5, episode 4, Faulty Okay. That picks up a week after Issa is cried in Nathan's mouth and he got up and left her during the night, in the middle of the night. Kelly, Issa, and Molly, they go to Nathan's barbershop anniversary event that's at a beach, but it has to be relocated to Sharpie's bar due to an earthquake. Kelly and Nathan's co-worker / friend Risha bond over their quote unquote near-death experiences. Molly is dating, and she has her pick of 2 of Nathan's co-workers who are vying for her attention. She ultimately picks, I think his name is like Art or something like that, because he says he could get them into a Jason Derulo house party. And the other coworker is talking about he has to go home to feed his cat. And Issa just has a lot going on. Things are awkward between her and Nathan. Crenshaw is selling her out on the internet. And, she's pressed over Nathan and Risha's relationship. But, she and Nathan do come to a resolve after having a heart-to-heart and express their feelings for each other. And they end the episode with a kiss. And we also got a backstory about Nathan, how he got kicked out of his cousin's house because, during the time when he was having a manic episode and he was, leaving the house and coming as he felt. And the family just didn't feel safe. Season 5, episode 5 is Surviving Okay. Molly's mother has a stroke and she's in the hospital. So Molly and her family are at the mother's side. And, she's still trying to balance, work with this family crisis. I think this is the first time that we've really seen Issa be there for Molly in this kind of way. She comes to the hospital and exchanges her clothes with Molly and offers to bring her a change of clothes. Issa and Nathan take Flavor Flav for a walk during this walk, they establish their relationships to Issa's mom. They lose Flavor Flav. Flavor Flav returns, and Issa tells Nathan she loves him. And the episode ends with Issa seeing Lawrence, Condola, and Elijah at the hospital, and Lawrence sees her too, but she keeps walking.
I'm ready for this show to be over. It's not giving. This is the thing. So how many episodes there in 5?
Yeah, and usually
I
the
feel
show
like
starts turning up around.
I think out of the 5 episodes that have aired, they really could have compacted them into about 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of these stories, somebody said it right on Twitter. There was some of these sub storylines could have been done, in prior seasons. They said even with Molly's mom, they would have preferred that. I think that was season 2 where she found out her dad or whatever happened.
Yeah,
they was I would have preferred that to tie the mom situation to that era. So then you have to forgive your dad, and then there'll be some resolve there. Mm-hmm. I think it's very weird that we still really didn't find out what happened to Molly and what's his name, Andrew.
Yeah, but I think he's gonna be back on the show.
But the thing too with Andrew she met Andrew through Nathan, and so it's really odd that we don't see Andrew, but we keep seeing fucking Nathan. But that was it. Yeah. They literally lived together at one point because when Issa was losing her mind, They went to their house.
Because Andrew should have actually been at that beach party.
Yes, Andrew should have been somewhere in that barbershop in the background.
Yeah.
And you're like hollering at Nathan friends again. So essentially, are you not hollering at Andrew's friend?
Kind of weird.
It's like nobody thought that out.
Yeah.
And then it's like, it's been like a year and a couple of months at this point, and it's just like, so we just not gonna we don't even really know what happened in the conversation they had. There was no flashback to that conversation.
Yeah.
So it's just like that's a weird storyline to me.
And then like also with them giving Nathan so much attention, like I've heard from a couple of people that they're just kind of like, is this them trying to give Nathan a spinoff? Because why do we need to hear about Nathan?
And that, I think that goes back to the comment that a lot of these sub stories should have been happening. Like when he already had disclosed that he was is he bipolar?
Oh yeah.
After he disclosed that, it was like y'all could have tied in the cousin stuff. Y'all could have actually, like, next week they're gonna do the thing where he's called a boy bipolar ass. I feel like that could have been back then when he disclosed it. It's like y'all trying to make me care about Nathan, and I got 5 more episodes, and I just don't see it.
Yeah, and even like their walk, I don't.
It was just mundane. I
just get like a friend vibe from them. Like I don't get. Honestly, I need to know the backstory of why Issa don't like Flavor Flav. That's what y'all forget. Nathan, Flavor Flav has been there since season 1. I need to know what the beef is with Issa and Flavor Flav.
And then they just wrote that really weird to me because Christy has a dog, and I be like panicking behind that dog because like that is my fear to have to call Christy and be like, oh shit, something happened. So the fact that you lost this girl dog when she in the hospital dealing with her mom and y'all just casually walking down the street.
But that's also because you and Molly just got back on a good foot. So it's like for you to be so nonchalant.
It's like y'all didn't split. Like you go that way, I go that way. Because it wasn't like Flavor Flav was gone that long from when they noticed that Flavor Flav was gone. And then the other half is that dog really shouldn't have escaped anyway. Yeah. So that was just stupid as hell to me.
It was, so y'all just didn't care about putting on his leash.
Yeah. It's just... So that whole scene was like weird to me, and then walking and kind of calling Flavor Flav's name was just kind of stupid to me. And the fact that Remy Raquel Robinson stole the scene on FaceTime is...
What you doing for the next 8 Sundays?
Yeah. Like, I love her, by the way. But the fact that she like stole the scene that quickly says a lot. And the fact that Issa and Lawrence 5 seconds of nonverbal communication was the pinnacle of the whole episode and ate up the whole 22 minutes we watched of Issa and Nathan says a lot. It says, take me out my fucking misery.
Right. It gave me flashbacks to like the last episode of season 4 where it was just like a lot of unnecessary stuff. Like I would have preferred just seeing Molly and her family because hell, they were funny. The brother was talking about something. The last thing he said was, I told her her dressing was a little off this time. I could have waited. I didn't hear her ear to
it was just the auntie was funny, but then again, like that whole era of Molly and her family, her mom being sick, really could have been season 2. And I would have preferred that, and they could have tied that back into Dro, because essentially she had sex with Dro, being upset with her family anyway. So they really could have just tied that episode back then and panned that out back then. So it was, again, I feel like we're 5 episodes in, but this really could have all been dispersed, and this all could have been 2 to 3 episodes.
And why do we need to know about Nathan? I'm sorry.
I'm just not interested.
Why do we need to know about Nathan? He's not a primary character. And even like last season, he's always like, I don't mind Nathan being there.
I don't mind Nathan being there, meaning like he just pop up.
Yeah.
And then go.
Yeah. So the barbershop, it's going good. You know what I'm saying? But like you trying to, I feel like this storyline between Issa and Nathan is very forced. And then it's just, even with her saying that she loved Nathan, it's like, sis, you forcing this because you still trying to get over Lauren.
And he didn't say I love you back. It didn't give me the emotion like when on TV shows when people kind of profess their love, even if it's just real quick and casual. Like even Friends was kind of corny. Oh, I love you. Wait, what? You love me? A lot of shows give you a moment. This was just, it felt very flat.
But even like with episode 4, and to know that she felt the way about him leaving at night, but then it was like for her to go into like protective mode over him when it came to like his cousin and the wife and stuff. I just kind of thought that was a little weird.
Yeah, this season ain't doing what I needed it to do. And I love everybody. I think everybody acts down. I think the show is really good overall. I give it 5 stars. Highly recommend it.
I blame Prentice
for
this storyline.
Yeah, but it's something about the show this season don't have me like waiting for next week. Like there was a time when Insecure came on and it ended and I'm like, damn, I can't wait the next Sunday. Now I think a couple of them episodes I watched like later. I didn't even watch them in real time. It was just like, oh yeah, Insecure about to be on. Oh, let me do this right quick. I'll watch it.
Yeah.
I don't have that need where it was just like, oh no, Insecure about to come on. Let me sit in the middle of the sofa and focus.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that. It's just like, oh, Insecure on. Let me just see how it's gonna end. Like right now, if somebody told me how it ended, I would not need to see any more episodes.
Yeah, it's just it's obvious that they didn't have a real direction for this season and that they just trying to wrap it up.
Yeah, and then it's like I kind of feel like if you're gonna wrap it up, wrap up all the stories that have been ongoing.
Mm-hmm.
Like Nathan wasn't really an ongoing story. It had ended already. We was okay.
Yeah.
They was just working together in a platonic situation. That was totally A-okay and fine. I just kind of feel like I would have liked the show better if they really would have fully wrapped up. Well, again, they had to skip a year so we can have a baby. But they could have wrapped up Issa and Molly. They could have delved into Tiffany's situation a little more. They can explain why Kelly stopped drinking and like what's going on with her. They could have had Lauren still go to San Fran or whatever, but they could have fully
dealing with those issues of just a long distance relationship and stuff, and her still working with Nathan or whatever. Now she's in event planning.
Yeah, so like they could have done things of that nature, and I would have loved that storyline. Her working with Nathan. Lawrence already knows she used to mess with Nathan, and him being out of town and what happened in the past, kind of finding his way back. Yes, kind of sliding his way back. And now I would have liked to see that versus. Let's talk about Nathan being bipolar. And no shade, that's great that they're bringing in awareness to mental health, but it's like, oh, okay, because I noticed that they did have him take his pills in that scene. And I get what they're trying to do, but again, I just don't give a fuck. It's just at this point, it's just y'all wasting my time.
Yeah.
And then it's like y'all have this weird way of popping. I don't want y'all to pop Lawrence in and then we don't see him because I feel like when they showed her getting ready to say something to them, you know how sometimes she do
in her mind.
Yeah.
Because by that time, him and Condola
had walked off.
Yeah, Lawrence is still trying to like.
So, and that's the thing. It's like they prolonging this thing with Lawrence that they don't, because it's been a year already. Like you don't. At this point, put y'all foot on the gas. It's been a year already. It's been a year and 2 months already. Yeah. We can fast. We can move this. We can.
And y'all doing a lot if y'all really trying to make Lawrence and Issa the end game. Like I don't.
And that's what I'm starting to think that maybe they just not the end game because it's like why y'all didn't put this in fast forward mode?
Yeah.
Because what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because every scene they show, like even with the Krishan situation. It's like, okay, right there. Well, I don't want to see him no more either. Yeah. She did her job. He sold her out.
Yeah.
Don't make this a full 22-minute episode. Knock that shit out and keep it moving. And then still, that's a storyline that should have been settled when he first ate her up on Twitter.
Yeah.
She should have been pulled up on him and be like, yo, man, what the fuck?
Yeah.
This didn't have to go on again. We have to see this nigga again.
Yeah. 2 episodes later.
Yeah, now you're wasting another 8 minutes.
Actually, no, 2 or 3 episodes later.
Now we only get 22 minutes to begin with. Now you're wasting 8 minutes on this.
Yeah.
That don't make no sense to me.
Yeah, it's this season wasn't thought out.
It seems all over the place. Yeah. It seems like, and I don't want it to end where it's like, because clearly Issa's going to run into Lawrence at some function. She's going to be there with Nathan.
Well, I think also because, and somebody said something, I was listening, it made sense because I've just been thinking about Lawrence, IT. But it seems like he might be in venture capitalism too because he was working with that one team and, you know, if they were going to invest in their idea or whatnot. And so, and considering that she's working with the venture capitalist herself. So I wouldn't be surprised if that also has.
Well, they need to fix that shit up next week. Because at this point, it's dragging. It's just like, so y'all don't, and this is the thing, this is in general. I hate shows that end where you decipher the ending. I think that's so whack, especially when you get into TV shows that last season after season after season. I remember when I was watching Friends, I forgot what I was watching, but they were talking about the final episode, and they were talking about leaving Ross and Rachel up in the air, where it's like, are they gonna get together or are they not? And it's like, why would y'all do that after 10 seasons? Yeah. Either put them together or don't leave it in the air. And I would hate for them to do that with Issa, where you see Lawrence knock on her door or something of that nature, and then the show ends, and we just like, but you niggas break up every week, so y'all gonna be together or not? Like, this is not comforting.
Yeah, it's just, like I said, I'll say it again, that Condola pregnant storyline.
That fucked the show.
Yeah, it really did.
When Issa and Lawrence could have went through so... Relationship problems don't always be about no damn baby, and I can't wait for y'all to realize that. Like, it just be other little stuff that just be messing up the situation. And I'm with you. I would have loved to see them try to work out long distance, but it's not quite working because they can't get each other on the phone, and then it's something about him calling her, and he knows like Nathan and them in the background. It sounds like she having fun, so he's like half being a hater, half insecure, and it's throwing her vibe off.
Or being like, you were supposed to come to this event with me, but I can't come down because I got caught up with work. And
then like, oh, well, Nathan was there. Or it'd be something like, oh, well, Nathan was there, so I was just kicking it with Nathan. Or like, he'd be on Facebook and like...
And then him and Nathan meet too, and it'd be like an awkward tension. Oh, okay. But yeah, that, like, them trying to do that storyline with Condola, especially knowing that they were going to have one final season, that wasn't the time to do that.
Yeah, and it just don't, like I said, are we gonna get, I know he wanted to talk to her, but it's like, it's a lot of things being solved without like us seeing it. Does that make sense? Like kind of how I feel about Molly and Issa, where they had a conversation, but we still don't know what was said. Yeah. How Molly and Andrew broke up, but we still don't really know how that conversation went.
They could have put that in the season finale. Like, it was like a lot of stuff that just could have been addressed during the season finale.
And like even with Lawrence, and I don't think Lawrence and Condola are together, but it's like they left it vague like that, where you could think they got back together, which I genuinely don't think they did.
I don't think so either.
But I don't know. It's just, at this point, I think it's like, 5 episodes left?
Yeah.
And he was like, we're going to ruin your Christmas. And it's just like, this been such a stupid ass season anyway. Right. To go out your way on Christmas to be like, and everybody dies.
You actually, the joke's on you, because you've actually ruined your show.
Yeah, so. Joke's on you. No one cares. We all just, I think now everybody's just dedicated to it because it's been.
We just need to see it through.
Yeah, I think that's where everybody's, it's kind of how I feel about Queen Sugar next season. I'm going to watch it, but it's like, if y'all would have just canceled it, I just would have been like, oh, Darla had her baby. Ain't that good?
Right. They ended it off on a good note.
Right. Oh, man, Charlie and Davis got back together. That's so good.
Right.
And I would have not felt no type of way.
Right.
But shout out, I'm still there. I'm still a huge fan of Insecure and Issa Rae and everything. But it's okay. It's I'm not trying to drag nobody. It's just sometimes stuff falls a little flatter than you would want. Yeah. And this is, I think, this is a general opinion to a lot of people I've heard.
Yeah.
Okay, so my queen.
Other girls at the
party, look at that body, shaking that thing like you never did see. He got a nice package, all right. Then we're gonna have to ride tonight. So first of all, I'm still kind of lightweight mad at Janet Jackson because she premiered the trailer to her documentary 3 months ago. So God willing,
we got wait till January.
Right. I was just like, so, but you know what can happen, and that. So, anyways, Janet, I think you played in my face, Janet Demeter Joe Jackson. However, they, the people who did, I think it's New York Times, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, New York Times.
Okay. They did like a documentary about Britney Spears, and it was really good. I think a bit of that documentary and everything that was going on helped that girl get off that, what was she on?
What's the phase?
I was going to call it censorship. It's not called censorship. What is it called? Where her daddy had control of all her stuff, because I can't think of the word now.
I can't think of it either.
But
conservatorship.
Yes. So So New York Times did did another documentary, but it circled around Janet Jackson and the Super Bowl. Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake in the 2004 Super Bowl that happened. I think if I'm correct, it's February 11th, 2004 in Houston, Texas. Actually,
Yeah.
and it breaks down kind of who Janet, like kind of her coming onto the scene and her kind of being one of the girls to express her sexuality, but it wasn't like super vulgar, how she really was just that bitch. And she had like this legacy that was really untouched. The second she got into the Control era, each album was like platinum on platinum on platinum. She had like crazy success. People still dress like Rhythm Nation. She signed one of the biggest music contracts. Granted, Michael came back a week or two later and signed a bigger one.
Because he couldn't let her live.
Sibling rivalry. And like how her videos had transcended and how she kind of gave all this woman empowerment, black women empowerment, the whole nine. And then Super Bowl happens. The thing about Janet and the Super Bowl was Janet still was at the top of her game when Super Bowl came around. Janet wasn't like this aging artist that needed Super Bowl to make her popular. All For You had came out a couple of years before, made a big deal. Her new album, Demeter Joe, was coming out, which Demeter Joe's a really good album as well. It's a solid album, and it still actually ended up going number one or whatever. But Janet wasn't like this person coming to stage after years of, being in Calabasas and not making music. She really was genuinely still at the top of her game. Her prime was damn near like 20, 30 years. It's ridiculous. So, as you know, Justin Timberlake, they do the song, he rips off the top of her like corset or whatever, her boobs exposed. I remember watching, I'm a huge Janet fan, of course. I was like front and center. I remember knowing something was off, but not really, but I had it on VHS, so I replayed it and realized what happened. But it clearly to me looked like an accident because she grabbed her boob so fast and she looked so shocked. She went like, woo, look at my titty. It was just really, she grabbed it and she looked genuinely shocked. Yeah. And then the thing is, Janet has her nipples pierced. And it was like, well, you had these rings in you wanted to expose it because you had these rings on your titties. Like, no, I had my boobs pierced. Like, I had my boobs pierced as well. No, if somebody do something to me, my boobs are just pierced. It's not me trying to show off my boobs. My boobs are just pierced. So the basis of the whole documentary is how unfair the treatment was for Janet and how Justin Timberlake kind of got to skate through. So for the past, I think that might have premiered last week, their names are still trending today on Twitter because people are eating the hell out of Justin Timberlake, which I think is a bit well deserved. I think it's well deserved. He alright.
I mean,
and to me, he never offered a proper apology. The apology he kind of tried to give to Janet and Britney Spears was very, if I did something or my bad about what happened. It just wasn't to me heartfelt because at the end of the day, I'm a huge Janet fan, so I watched interviews with Janet during that era. And she really was just like, your friend don't play you like that. Because she was like, by that point, she's like, I had became friends with NSYNC. I let them open up on my tour.
She dated Justin, didn't she?
I don't really remember that. But I know she let, because she was with Jermaine Dupri.
I thought the whole Icon, I thought like shortly after that or around that time. I thought
she might have, because she might have
because she dated Matthew McConaughey.
She might have a flame with Justin Timberlake. That could be possibly true.
I think I remember that. I don't know how true it is.
But either way, it was still like one of those things where when she did the interview on the Oprah show, she felt like her friend left her hanging. This one about us being in the music industry. This is, you done been to my house, we done kicked it, and you kind of let me take the brunt of this because they wanted her to apologize. She was just like, but what am I apologizing for? So when she actually days later gave the apology, it was kind of
she was disheveled.
Yeah, she read whatever they told her to read. And then I was online and there was some people who used to work for the FCC, I think is where you complain at. They said Monday after the Super Bowl, nothing. They said Tuesday after the Super Bowl, nothing. They said they went to work on Wednesday and that's when they got the complaints. But they said they think the media sensationalized it and now people started getting offended.
Yeah,
Because they said the first 2 days, they were like, it was nothing. It was like the first 2 days, it was not a big deal. They said, oh, but when Wednesday happened, it was like you couldn't catch a breather. He was like, it was like people were told that you need to be offended now.
Yeah.
And it was just like at the end of the day, even when you watch that Super Bowl performance, your damn kids didn't know what was happening.
I remember watching it and being like, was that her breast? And then thinking like, maybe I'm tripping. And then going to school the next day, and then all the dudes started, no, did you see her titty? And it was just kind of like, oh, okay. But then I guess maybe because to me it wasn't a big deal, I didn't care. I guess I don't know. I could be real like oblivious to things. I didn't realize how big of a deal it was because it was just like, this ain't like, who cares? Like,
yeah, it could be. Well, and I think I knew because again, huge fan. And I remember they pulled her from a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
she got pulled from the Grammys because they say she wouldn't apologize. But whatever, they pulled her from a lot of stuff. They tried to block like a book deal. She ended up getting a book deal, but it kind of slid through. Les Moonves was trying to block it. They started pulling up old interviews, and I remember that day her and Tyler Perry was doing an interview, and that guy kept bringing up her breasts.
And then when they ended, they were like, "Well, you all just don't realize we were affected by it because we're in the CBS affiliate," and it was just like,
this ain't been. They been eating his ass up too online too, because it's just like,
are they eating that white chick up? Because she was the one who made that statement about, you just don't realize we were affected by it too.
I know I haven't seen her ad, but I've seen that guy's ad.
Okay,
and it was just things of that.
It was childish.
Yeah, it's like real. They tried to, and that's why you said you always seen her on BET because BET was still letting her do Access Granted and stuff. Because in the grand scheme of things, there's nothing wrong with BET. Janet should have been doing making the video.
And back then, Viacom didn't own BET.
Yes, and Janet should have been doing making the video. What are you looking at?
I thought I heard something.
Girl, don't be looking like that.
You saw Jazzy like kind of.
No, you looking like somebody about to walk in on here. I'm sorry, y'all.
Girl, so.
But Janet really should, at the time, Janet should have been making the video.
Nah, I wasn't.
And she was doing Access Granted.
For me, it was like, who not playing Janet? I'm like, I need the feedback.
Oh, yeah, I need feedback up. But like, I don't know. I just think at this point, and even like Diane Sawyer, I just think at this point, of course, it was different times. But I do think, and not even just with Janet Jackson, I think Britney Spears, I think a lot of people, it goes back to the Perez Hilton saying, you were strong. I think if you wrong people and people are now pulling up this footage, and the footage be so cringeworthy, I think an apology is due to a lot of people. Like, hey, in the early 2000s, we really didn't give a fuck. The internet was really just starting to pop, and we was just giving our opinion. And I just think that's due. And I think with Justin Timberlake, he tried to give an apology, but he didn't really specifically apologize to Janet or Britney Spears. It's like he did like this kind of vague apology when the original Britney Spears documentary came out. But it's like you saw that girl out about her virginity. You did like just be like, man, look, I was young, I was violent, I ain't care much. But now in hindsight 2020, looking at it now, I know what I did affected people and hurt people. Because that's really the basis. Like he was able to thrive and have fun and live his life when we all know if that was a white pop artist and that was a rapper and the rapper ripped off a part of a costume to one of these white pop artists, that narrative would have been completely and utterly different.
Well, it was just the whole race thing anyway. And like to be fair with Justin, around that time, like when it comes to Britney and him, they were young. They were like late teens, early 20s. And, you just be petty. And so,
I'm saying that's fine, yeah. But I think now you need to say hindsight 2020, like, my bad.
Well, yeah. And, like, at the time with Janet, too, Justin, he had just broke away from Instinct. He was trying to come into his own. So I can't fault him for, like, kind of going into a, like, I have to save my career, you know what I'm saying?
But I can because Janet also said he reached out to her a bunch of times. So it's like at some point, if you're reaching out to somebody, you're doing it on the back end.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I can't fault him for wanting to save his career.
Self-preservation.
For self-preservation. But then at the same time, he left Janet out to dry. Like, he left her hanging.
Yeah.
And so, you know, with Justin,
and just even now, like, him trying to kind of like rebrand himself with Man in the Woods, and then he got caught cheating on Jessica Biel. I think that's her name.
Yeah,
the girl from Seventh Heaven.
Jessica Biel.
And so I don't know. It's just.
But I have been hearing stuff about Justin, about him kind of being a jerk anyway. Like,
and they say that's what we get.
Like, he stayed cheating on her and stuff like that.
But they say that's what we get for giving him the shine instead of JC anyway. So, you know, maybe this is all our own creation. I just think at this point, you know, I know everybody hates cancel culture and woke culture, and I get it. Sometimes it's just so annoying when people bring up stuff that happened years ago, whatever the case might be. But and not even Justin Timberlake. I'm talking to a lot of people who did stuff to people and is now coming back in some type of form or way and becoming a topic of discussion. I think, like, apologize to people properly and as open, because right now your career ain't hitting on nothing for real. So,
but the thing with Justin too, is that I think, like, just watching that documentary, it was deeper than Justin. It seemed like they were just gonna try and find a way to make Janet the person to receive all the blame anyway. Because, like, the one chick with the blonde hair who I was talking about how she was saying that, like, after the show, I don't know if she was a producer, and she was saying that, like, once the show finished, they're thinking, like, oh yeah, you know, we did it, great, or whatever. But then she started getting phone calls, like, did you see what happened? And she was like, you know, I got a call saying that Janet had been canked. She was covered with a blanket and she was taken away immediately because she was crying. But, you know, Justin came and apologized to me. So if Janet would have just came and immediately apologized, and I'm just like, but you, at that point, if you know that she was crying
and covered up,
yeah, you know,
she's the victim. Like,
yeah, she didn't do
victimess.
that on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't something that she did. You know what I'm
she
saying?
victim-esque.
Yeah, so it's just like it was essentially they wanted Janet to bow down and kiss their ass. Like, that's what that
really, because then it came out, because he's been removed as the head of CBS, but Les Moonves really had it out for her, and it's just like, and y'all, people, CBS and Fox and Viacom, when you start, like, digging into what they own, you will be amazed how these, like, publications and how Disney owned ESPN.
They were saying that they took the Rhythm Nation outfit off of Michael because of the whole situation.
The Mickey Mouse, yeah.
I mean, I said Michael, yeah, Mickey Mouse. It was just like, really?
Yeah, it's like, when you start digging into these companies, it is so crazy everything they own and how they really could dead your career. Like, I've listened to this podcast. It's called American Scandal, and they were talking about the music industry, and it's like, I know we laugh at payola and all that, but that is a real payola, and building people to be super popular is real, because they be owning every avenue to everything, to every artist, to McDonald's, to ESPN, to the airport. Like, it'd be crazy. So it's just like and the thing too, what I do enjoy about the whole documentary, Janet still put out music, still was in movies, them albums still went number one. She wasn't as big as what she was, but and she didn't, what's the word I want to use? She didn't fold, if that makes sense. She still was like, all right, well, put out albums. All right,
well, I'm not going to go to this media source.
I'll do this.
You know, I'll
okay.
go to who accepts me.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, because I don't think a lot of people would have been able to endure that.
Yeah.
I guess.
It's just
especially after you done gave your life to an industry who essentially didn't protect you or love you, who really just didn't give a fuck. And we're talking about somebody.
Your own.
Yeah.
Really.
Somebody who literally has been on some version of television since they've been 5. Yeah. That's a lot to swallow.
It's just the situation when it came down to its racism and misogyny. And it was sad that it was the women, a lot of the women that were enforcing that misogyny more.
And white women.
Yeah.
And Janet really had the girls shook too. Like, at the end of the day, Janet was making a shitload of money. Janet, in between like 86 and 2004, I say this again, was cleaning up. I'm talking about HBO specials for her concerts. I'm talking about sold out tours everywhere, arena tours. The girls ain't really doing it like that right now. Like, the only girl doing it like that right now is Beyonce. And that's not even me being funny. I don't care who your fave is. The girls really... Rihanna. But I don't even consider her no more because she an Avon lady. But girls ain't really... Black women ain't really doing that like that no more. So, and that's one thing I do appreciate about Black people, because I feel like we stand with our people. And I remember I watched this interview with Jamie Foxx, and he was talking about when him and Kanye did Gold Digger.
Yeah.
And Kanye was geeked because the white people in the audience knew his words. And Jamie Foxx was like, okay, that's cool and all, but Black people hold you down regardless of what happened.
As Jamie went home with his publicist that night.
That's fine. But Jamie Foxx still know who he catered to. Jamie Foxx still gonna show up to the BET Awards. And so I appreciate that about, because it speaks volumes that she was still able to get played on BET. Yeah. And feedback, people know feedback.
And that so excited.
Okay, so I'm so excited. And I want you. It's like, so.
Because that's why when you told me, like, she got her video session, I'm like, no, she did, because I used to watch them on BET. Like,
access granted.
Yeah, it's like I stayed watching her stuff on BET. Feedback came on BET.
It's love feedback too.
Yeah, so
but yeah, so it's nice to, like I said, life is a learning experience. I'm sad it was my fave who was on the chopping block. But again, my fave didn't fold. My fave still was out here making movies and living
y'all
on life.
ain't canceling nobody. Cancel culture don't exist.
Yeah. And I'm very still excited to see her documentary. I hope it's as, I guess, vulnerable. Because for the most part, she don't really too much. She's one of the people that you hear it in the music. So seeing as though she decided to do a documentary, and I think they taped it for about 2 years, or they followed her for about 2 years, I hope she covers Super Bowl and really just say how she feel about just the whole industry. Not even just Super Bowl, just everything. Just her life in this industry. I hope it's like, I hope it's good. I'm pretty sure it'll be good, but I hope she just lay everything out. I mean, at this point, she ain't got shit else to lose. I don't think sis ain't gonna be touring like that.
Yeah, she in her 50s. She could.
Yeah, she really just be chilling. She really just be chilling.
Yeah, raise her baby.
Yeah. But shout out to Janet Demeter Joe Jackson. I will always stand. I tell people this all the time. If something happens to her, check on me. What else we got? Real Housewives of Potomac.
Did you want to talk about the Von Dutch?
Oh, real quick. So there's a documentary about Von Dutch. Yes, the trucker hat brand. What I'm starting to learn about a lot of these brands, it's a lot of drama that happened in order to make the brand pop, essentially. So if you have time, it's quite hilarious how Von Dutch started, how it went through about 2 or 3 different phases of people owning it. It has murder, it has drugs, it has parties, it has the girls from the early 2000s, it has Dennis Rodman, it has everybody. Because it's just funny how Von Dutch became that girl. And my only thing is, it's one of the main guys in the documentary who was early on with Von Dutch. So he ended up getting X'd out. And he's in a club and he sees Perez Hilton. And he was like, she was acting all snooty, like she didn't want to speak to me. But me, I'm like, do she know you? So he was offended because, she used to be in Von Dutch all the time on... What happened was she said, right when they started taping The Simple Life, they went to the Von Dutch store and bought all this Von Dutch. So she said that was like her uniform. So she was like, it was like her and Nicole's uniform. So when he see her in the club, and this is like a few years after Simple Life anyway, or a couple of years, she didn't speak to him. But mind you, she knew who she thought was the owners, because they were the owners at the time. So he was like, you wear my shit. And she was like, what? And he was like, Von Dutch. She was like, no, such and such and such and such on Von Dutch. So he now like basically cusses Paris Hilton out to the point where like the security guard has to like separate them because he's so pissed because she looking at him like, no the fuck you don't own Von Dutch. These motherfuckers own Von Dutch. But he was like early on with Von Dutch or whatever. And it was a mess. You know, at the end of the day, when I'm learning about these brands, get your money and just go.
Yeah.
I was reading, I didn't even realize House of Gucci comes out this week. And I ended up listening to a podcast about the Gucci family and didn't even realize how messy that shit is. A damn mess. Like, cannot wait to see the movie. Mess. Like, I'm gonna be there. But yeah, so watch that. It's really good. It's just funny how they said Von Dutch just oversaturated the market. So that was pretty much their downfall. Because then they start showing pictures of like high schools and colleges. And it's like you'll see like 20 white girls all with their like Von Dutch hats like that. And I was like, Von Dutch really was everywhere quick. And then Paris said, she was like, it did get oversaturated. She was like, because she's like, I remember one day coming home. She's like, it's a lot of brands I wear that sometimes have moments where they're everywhere. Like, she's like, Tommy was everywhere. It's certain brands. She was like, I came home one day and looked in my closet and I was just like, throw away all this Von Dutch. She was like, she was just tired of looking at it because everybody was in Von Dutch. So yeah, it was a good documentary. It has all the makings of mess, murder, drugs, backstabbing, celebrities, more backstabbing, beautiful women backstabbing. It's a good time.
Yeah. So the Potomac Housewives, they're having their reunions and they had part 3 yesterday and it's going to be 4 parts because they got Nicki Minaj on there. Basically Wendy, I was here for Wendy and Wendy getting Giselle and Robin together, but then it's just kind of like, Wendy really needs to find herself and find who she is as a person, because it's like she came on to the show being one way, but then that way even seemed like she, with the whole, I have degrees and I am Dr. Wendy. But even that just seemed like it was kind of her trying too hard. So now she's on this, I'm Zen Win, I'm going to get the girls together. No, you want a moment, I'm going to give you a moment. Tick-tock, bitch. And it's just like, Wendy, calm down. But then when somebody say, you're being real aggressive, then this is colorism, and you don't tell a black woman she's being too aggressive. It's just like, Wendy.
But you're being aggressive.
Yeah, like I said, I don't mind her getting Giselle and Robin together. It started off funny, but now it's just too much. So stop it. And as far as Nikki coming on there, I don't know, because you just can't sit there and question me about why do I find my husband attractive or why I'm with my husband, but you married to who you married to?
Girl, the way Nikki would have asked me that, and the way she would have been cut the camera,
right?
Dead ass,
right. And somebody said, see, Nikki knows she could do that with the Potomac Housewives, but they were like, the Atlanta Housewives back in their heyday would have been getting Nikki together.
Listen.
So it's just because I'm just like, so are y'all that afraid of her to wear? I mean, I don't know.
Maybe it's them being fans.
Girl, I don't know. But I'm just like, even though I did enjoy her question to Ashley, because in her telling Ashley she didn't have a storyline, because Ashley did not have a storyline this season. Like, Ashley was just there. And so, but I don't think that this reunion needs to be 4 parts.
They be dragging the reunions in general.
Yeah, I don't think this.
And then they love to bring husbands to talk. They be dragging them reunions. They milking the hell out of the housewives. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they need to make it 4 parts, but whatever. And also, just to touch base real quick on the Married at First Sight cast. And, they had their finale where the couples that were, they decided if they were going to stay married or not. And then they had a reunion, the first part of their reunion. And their reunions are normally just 1 part. But for some reason, it's 2 parts. But the couples that said yes, I pretty much knew they were going to say yes. And the ones that said no, I knew they were going to say no. Even though Michaela is talking about Zach made her look stupid, when it's like Zach had been telling you that he wasn't going to say yes on decision day and that he wanted a divorce. But Zach is a weirdo too, because Zach really got on the stage and had this note professing his love just for it to be like, do y'all want to stay together or get a divorce? And Kayla was like, we're gonna stay together. And Zach was like, no, I want a divorce.
Jesus Christ.
And so,
one thing a nigga gonna do is embarrass you.
Right.
I try to tell y'all.
right. And so, like, yeah, so on the follow-up, the first part of the reunion, even though I didn't care for Mirla and Gil to be together because I thought that Gil was insecure about Mirla making money and spending it the way she was spending it, the fact that he said they were together for like a few weeks after the show and he had like sold all his stuff for them to move into an apartment together, and she told him like, so I don't want to be married to you anymore. This is not gonna work. And it's just kind of like, well, Mirla, you know you didn't have to say yes on decision day anyway. And now she's on this whole, I was never attracted to him. I never loved him. It's just kind of like...
Chad, the thought that my homegirl told me to sign up for that damn show.
So, yeah. And then Zach and Michaela's talking about some... After the show, she went and stayed at Zach's place for a few weeks and was cooking and cleaning, and he still was like, he don't want to be with her. Like, it's just really weird. And it's like, Michaela, first off, Michaela be lying. So it's like, did that really happen? But then also Zach be lying too sometimes because he don't look like the bad guy. But it's like, Michaela, at this point, you're playing yourself. He's not playing you. You're playing yourself. So whatever. We'll see what part 2 how that ends. But like, y'all need to stop playing y'all lives in these producers' hands that just want
good TV.
Yeah, so, but yeah, girl.
Well, Queen Sugar, I'm happy you're ending next season.
Woo!
Shout out to This Is Us
Yes.
for coming back January 4th. They're gonna show the full trailer for the season, Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay.
I'll be in the movie theater at some point watching House of Gucci. I am very interested to see Patricia Gucci.
You can roll your tongue. I'm so jealous. Now you're just showing off.
What else I want to tell y'all? Wait for it. Insecure, I hope you pick up. And that's all the girl got.
Yeah, stop trying to force Nansford on us.
I'm over that. If y'all need another podcast to listen to, me and Christy are obsessed with the Strawberry Letters from the Steve Harvey Show. I suggest everybody listen.
Yeah, everything. We turn everything into a strawberry letter.
Life is a strawberry letter.
Right. Be like, well, in the next year, she gonna be
Dear Steve and Shirley. No, y'all, dead ass. Please, if you have no podcast to listen to, just mosey on over to the Strawberry Letter. It's from the Steve Harvey Show. It's them reading letters that make no damn sense, essentially, because
y'all lives are a mess.
Y'all lives are such a mess.
Especially the chick that was sleeping with the landlord but still having to pay rent.
No, the chick that didn't know who the daddy was. Was it the daddy or was it the son or the pappy? Because she was sleeping with her husband, daddy.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think I got that one.
Yeah, it was like, is the daddy or the granddaddy?
Because there was the preacher's son that was sleeping with his stepmama.
Oh, I did read that one. And then somebody else slept with her too. Oh no, somebody else came and slept.
No. He just slept with her and she pregnant. But his whole thing was like, he was just mad at this point. It wasn't even like I feel sorry. I feel bad for what I did to my dad. It was just kind of like, so how can we continue this affair?
Girl. And then apparently nobody believes in abortion. I just want to throw that out.
I'm not laughing at abortions. I'm sorry.
I just want to throw it out there. Everybody act like there's no option. And I just listen to every letter and be like, there is an option.
The girl that slept with her 18-year-old daughter's boyfriend that got pregnant was like, so how should I tell him that he gonna be a daddy? It's like,
you don't have to tell him. That baby will be non-existent fucking with me. But listen, who am I? Do what y'all want to do. But yeah, if you don't have anything to do, the Strawberry Letter, it's on Apple. It's on all where pods are available. It's hilarious.
Hilarious, y'all.
But we shall see y'all next week or maybe the week after that. Let's just see how this episode of Insecure goes.
Yeah, follow us on We the Viewers Podcast on IG.
Is that it?
We the Viewers Pod.
We the Viewers Pod on Instagram. We the Viewers Pod on Twitter. All this is in the notes under
Yeah.
us as well. It's Natoya Ebony on Instagram, Twitter, and I Love Christy on Instagram.
Yes.
And we will be back.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving,
and also,
y'all.
Somebody just passed away recently. And
Who died?
Young Dolph. Rest in peace to Young Dolph.
Yeah, that was sad.
Rest in peace to the little boy.
We about to eat it.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Antoine. Rest in peace to Billy the Goat, man.
Rest in peace to Billy the Goat.
Man, I used to watch that lady and that goat for real. And then that one time she asked us to babysit him because she had him on live, and we sat there for 40 minutes watching this lady go. Oh, that was a good night.
Yeah. Oh, and rest in peace to the people that were in Waukesha, Wisconsin. The man drove through the parade and
Killed 5 people, injured 40 people. Y'all gotta chill, y'all. Oh, y'all be blessed, be safe, stay prayed up, sage, talk to Jesus.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.